What's up, my comic comrades? For this episode, we're doing something very special because today I'm not just your friendly neighborhood variant host, I'm also kind of the guest. And that's because I've partnered with my home team to give the Variant Nation an exclusive look at my brand new comic book, Astonishing Times Rise of the Kokin, which is published through Comixology Originals and Dark Horse Comics. The first 3 issues are already available right now on Comixology, with issue 4 coming later this month. This series is the follow-up to the 5-issue series Astonishing Times Volume 1, which was created and co-written by myself and my good buddy Frank Barbiere, as well as our pal and amazing artist Ruairi Coleman. Both of them are incredibly talented and have done work for both DC and Marvel. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Astonishing Times story, you can check out some of our videos we created here on Variant that break down the first full volume. You could also read all 5 issues on Kindle or pick up the Dark Horse trade at your local comic book store or wherever books are sold. But as a general summary though, the original AT story established our world of superheroes in which superpowered people have lost their shock and awe on society, so to speak. But the mystery death of a legacy hero named Gold Rush leads to a superhero murder mystery with shocking consequences. And now we've brought the band back together for Volume 2 of Astonishing Times Rise of the Kokin to give our breakout hero for Volume 1, Kokin, his own 5-issue spin-off series that expands and details his origin. We actually printed a limited run New York Comic Con exclusive ashcan of Rise of the Kokin issue 1 back in October. And while we sold most of the 200 copies at the con, we really wanted to thank all of you in the Variant Nation for supporting the book, so I set aside 50 copies just for you guys to grab on the Variant Whatnot shop. They're available right now and the link to grab one is in the description. They were selling for $30 at New York Comic Con without signatures, but we want to hook you guys up as much as possible, so all 50 copies of Rise of the Kokin issue 1 ashcans available in the Whatnot shop are signed by me, Frank, and Ruairi for only $25. Yes, it's a very limited amount that's available, but like I said, there are only 200 copies in existence, so if you want one, you need to grab one right now before they're gone. Again, the link for that is in the description below. Okay, before we dive into the first issue, let's start with a brief intro to the character. We like to describe Kokin as a cyberpunk samurai because he's essentially what you would get if you imbued a samurai with futuristic tech and weaponry. But the other important aspect you need to know about the character is that the name Kokin is a title, not the name of an individual hero like Batman or Spider-Man. To become a Kokin means you're the head of one of the most elite secret clans in the world that stems from Japan. So a Kokin is like a shogun, but better. However, there is a lot more to it, and we explore all of it fully in Astonishing Times Rise of the Kokin. With that in mind, we're going to give you an overview of the first 3 issues and then tease what's to come in issues 4 and 5, as well as show you never before seen art from those issues. But at the beginning of issue 1, we wanted to begin midway through Kokin's origin on the run from what would become his clan. We're literally seeing him run down a skyscraper being chased by several clan members and a Kokin. But then he's stopped by the Kokin who lands in front of him, who looks menacing as hell, which we did on purpose, giving him that fiery energy radiating off of him to make him look like a demon. He then tells his clan, "This one belongs to me. I will extinguish his fire." Even looking at this Kokin, you could see how we were shooting for a futuristic take on a samurai warrior. In any case, right after this, we are brought to the past, where we see a young Kokin, our protagonist, who remains nameless at this point. It's part of the mystery. But since I love you guys and I want to give the Variant Nation some exclusive goodness, I will tell you, it's later revealed his name is Aaron. In any case, we learn Aaron is an army brat who moved around with his dad, a high-ranking member of the US military that is responsible for many military secrets. But Aaron did not get along with his father as he hated rules, structure, and authority, which obviously didn't go over well with his dad, as again, his father is a high-ranking military figure. His dad ultimately tells him, "Stop messing up, please, or if you're leaving, just go already." Aaron is kind of taken back by this and wasn't sure if his dad meant it, but decided to leave as he didn't care about anything anymore. Now, being on his own in the world, he eventually finds a group of kid squatters who are also on the run from different things. The problem is, one day a group of mysterious men in brown coats would come looking for him. Aaron put up a good fight, but ultimately was beaten bloody and kidnapped by said men. Sometime later, Aaron would wake up all bandaged up in a super nice penthouse, where he's greeted by an older gentleman who says, "You took quite a few blows, though to be honest, my men were the ones who were worse for wear." That last line, "my men were the ones worse for wear," was our way of foreshadowing what Aaron would eventually level up to, as he's impressive even as a young kid. We were always looking for subtle ways to tell you Kokin is a badass even as a boy. Anyway, Aaron asks, "What is this? Did you kidnap me?" The man says, "No, I've set you free. Come." Aaron then starts attacking the man, but he is no match as this older gentleman puts him down pretty easily. But he then helps Aaron up onto the couch saying, "I see your potential. That is why I brought you here. Who taught you how to fight?" Aaron answers, "I picked up some stuff from my dad." The man says, "You've picked up more than a few things. I'll teach you more." So essentially, this man kidnapped Aaron to make him his disciple, so to speak, as he trains and hones Eren's skills. Now you may be asking, why Eren of all people? Well, that's something we answer a little bit later. But what would end up happening is this man would become Eren's sensei, and he would even think of him as an adoptive father. So much so he barely remembered his old life. Everything was about the training. He was so consumed by it that he never bothered to ask what he was training for. However, at the end of issue 1, we get a glimpse as to why Sensei was training Eren as he brings Eren down under his mansion, saying, "The real treasures lie below." Sensei tells him, "I was not always a peaceful man. I have learned to guard my secrets well. Do you trust me?" Eren says, "Yes, of course. After all you've done for me, how could I not?" You see, at this point, it's been years, and Sensei has raised Eren, took him all around the world, trained him, and loved him. So even though Sensei is technically his kidnapper, Eren doesn't see it that way anymore. Eren has grown to love him as a father. Anyway, Sensei ultimately takes him to a vault down deep below his mansion, saying, "This vault contains my greatest treasure. It is to be protected at all costs. I would give any number of lives to keep it out of the wrong hands." So we're basically telling you what's behind that door is very important. Eren then says, "Whoa, I've never seen anything like it. It feels like the air is buzzing out here. What's inside?" Sensei says, "The means to power beyond our very understanding. And one day it will all belong to you." And that's our cliffhanger for issue 1. We wanted to give just enough information so hopefully you'd come back for issue 2 and the rest of the series. Alright, so issue 2 is where things start getting really interesting. It's where we start unveiling more things. At the very beginning of the issue, we see a news report of this giant alien monster, which I'm going to tell you right now, we call Cyber Squid Shark. It's not an official name, that's just what we call him behind the scenes. But I will say this creature is going to pop up in future Astonishing Times issues as he's very important to the character Infinite. Anyway, the news report says the mysterious beast was swiftly defeated by an astonishing figure showcasing incredible power. Footage is shaky, but we may be witnessing the dawn of an age of heroes. Now, if you read Astonishing Times Volume 1, you know that blurry figure on the TV screen is Infinite, the Superman, so to speak, of our universe. So yes, in issue 2 of Rise of the Kokin, we are already starting to connect the characters in our universe. Because remember, the Rise of the Kokin series takes place in the past. It gives us his origin and how certain characters came to be. But Astonishing Times Volume 1 takes place in the present. In any case, as Sensei looks at who everyone would come to know as Infinite on the news report, he says, "This will complicate matters." We then see him and Eren on a private jet headed to Tokyo. Now, Eren is in awe of Tokyo, just wanting to explore, but Sensei makes it very clear he is there for business, and it's going to be a very quick turnaround. After this, we are taken to the Council Tower headquarters of Japan's all-powerful criminal empire, which is where the Kokins of each clan meet. How it breaks down is you have the council and then 5 different clans within it, each having their own Kokin. All 5 clans specialize in different areas, bringing something unique to the council as a whole. But I'll detail that more later. As the Kokins of each clan are at Council Tower, one of them says, "Recent developments. This American superhuman makes it more critical than ever that we revolutionize our war machine. Cybernetics, stealth technology, we must embrace the future." Another Kokin says, "Silence, let us hear from Aiko of Clan Nagito." Aiko then says, "As you know, Clan Nagito's purview in the council is warfare and weaponry. As such, we are monitoring the situation closely. I must impress upon the council the precipice on which we stand. By revolutionizing our arsenal, we invite escalation from our enemies. Street gangs already augment their bodies with crude hardware," referring to the cyberpunk element we put in the story where humans augment themselves with cybernetics. But then another Kokin says, "Exactly, it is they who invite escalation from us." But Aiko responds, "We aren't merely trading blades for bullets, Lord Ashikaga. There is no telling what peril these new technologies might reap. I urge temperance for now. My General Otto has spent many years researching this new threat and is securing hardware for Clan Nagito. He knows better than anyone the situation that confronts us. They say, then bring him here. Let us all hear what he has to say." Aiko says, "With respect, the balance of the council rests on trusting each lord's discretion. Trust me now, I will not steer us wrong." So without giving too much away, we learn a lot on this page, which we did on purpose. We wanted to make you guys understand a little more on how the council, clans, and the Kokins of each clan work and how it all breaks down. We revealed on that page that one of the clans, Clan Nagito, specializes in warfare and weaponry, and that Sensei's real name is Otto, and he's the general of Clan Nagito, the clan of war. The reason he's worried about this new superhuman, or as we know him, Infinite, showing up is because this means escalation, and that the council is going to want all the secret weaponry he's amassed over the years to upgrade the council to be able to face such a threat. And this is why Otto, or Sensei, is in Tokyo to meet with his Kokin, Lord Aiko. However, when they meet, Aiko tells Otto, "You have seen the news. There is no time to waste. Debrief me." Otto says, "I have spent many years confiscating and researching cutting-edge technology. It cannot fall into the wrong hands, even ours. This is why I must take what I have learned and leave forever." Aiko says, "Leave forever? You're abandoning your clan? Otto replies, the threat the superhuman possesses is existential. But if we were to proliferate this tech in response, we'd be sowing the seeds of our own self-destruction. The path forward is uncertain, but I am of no doubt that embracing this technology is to seal our fate. Aiko agrees, saying, I have feared as much, and lets his old friend leave peacefully, but not without warning that the other clans will hunt him and his ward, aka Eren, to the ends of the earth, and that he will protect them as best as he can from afar. But when he leaves this room, he should consider himself alone in the world. So essentially, the emergence of Infinite is the crux for the council being like, yeah, we need to up our game, and since Clan Agito is all about warfare and weaponry, we're gonna need all your artillery and secrets to be able to fight back against the superhuman if need be. But as you can see, both the Kokin and Otto, general of Clan Agito, do not want to share their secrets with the rest of the clans, agreeing it will only bring the downfall of all the clans, which sets up for some craziness down the road, because when Aiko tells the other clans they will not be sharing the secrets and weaponry they've amassed over the years, one of the other Kokin says, your general was given great resources, council resources to pursue technology. We demand a return on our investment. Aiko says, you dare to question my sovereign decision as the Kokin of Clan Agito? Do you seek open war within the Accord? Another Kokin then says, do not speak so lightly about war in this place, Lord Aiko. To which another says, our peace has been most profitable, but it remains fragile. Aiko replies, in which case I warn you, do not question my decisions again. We shall reconvene tomorrow when cooler heads prevail. Now at this point, the other Kokin talk among themselves, worried that Aiko plans to keep all the new weapons for himself, saying with these weapons he could rule the council alone. The Accord shattered, our clan subservient. So this is what causes the rift between the clans, because up until now, they had an accord with one another for several centuries, but now it looks like things are going to change. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I know my co-creators also wanted to do, which is write a story that creates a rift between different houses, factions, or clans in this case. To us, it's just so interesting to have these clans working together for so long under a very specific accord or agreement, each specializing in a different area. But then something causes a rift between them, and we get to see how they deal with that. Like, what would that mean for the council? Would they all split, or would they team up against one another? Now again, there's lots of twists and turns and consequences to the decision that Aiko made by not sharing the weaponry and hardware they've amassed over the years with the other clans. But I don't want to give anything away, so you're gonna have to read issues 2 and 3 for yourself to see what I'm talking about. However, I will give 2 more things away that we touch on in issue 3 before I start teasing what's to come for the rest of the series. So midway through issue 3, we finally reveal what each of the clans are about, and I want to share that with you guys because it's super important to understanding how the council and clans work, and hopefully it entices you to read the series for yourself. But as we wrote in the comic, in feudal times, the shogun were the de facto rulers of Japan. To maintain stability between their clans, power was divided, and the council was formed, with each clan responsible for a different level of influence. Blackmail was Clan Gosei, war was Clan Agito, finances Clan Kaike, vice Clan Akatoku, and politics Clan Saiji. The balance existed for generations until the rise of cybernetic technology split the council. Some saw it as an asset, others saw it as ruinous. At a stalemate, Lord Aiko tasked Otto with assessing the viability of cybernetics. I vividly remember bringing this specific idea to both Frank and Ruairi on a phone call on my drive home when we were throwing out ideas. And I just really like the idea of different clans and kind of doing a play on the 7 deadly sins with each clan. Now obviously it's not the 7 deadly sins, but it's our play on it. I also kind of like that it was sort of our version of the Lantern Corps, in the sense that there's different Lantern Corps like fear, rage, and so on. So eventually we landed on blackmail, war, finance, vice, and politics, as we figured if we're gonna have a secret society or group of clans manipulating and ruling things in the shadows, each clan being an expert in one of those things would make total sense. It's one of our favorite things we came up with for Kokin's mythology, building out different clans and having them work together and specializing in a specific area only for a wedge to be put between that. Now the last thing I'm going to give away for issue 3, which I was hesitant to do, but I'm going to do it, is the fact that we reveal why Sensei or Otto kidnapped Eren all those years ago. Because obviously there had to be a reason. He just wasn't kidnapped randomly. Well, in issue 3, we tell you Eren's dad is responsible for many military secrets and technology far beyond what the clans were able to acquire. But as we say in the comic, Eren's father needed to be goaded and manipulated. It was to be Otto's great mission to secure the American tech no matter what. And Eren was the answer. Eren was manipulated into leaving so Otto could swoop in and take Eren, removing him from the equation. Meanwhile, Lord Aiko bled Eren's father for all he was worth. But eventually the military found out that Eren's father was giving up their secrets, and he was court-martialed for treason, stripped from everything, all that he loves sentenced to military prison, where he eventually took his own life. Now that may sound like a whole lot I gave away, but there's actually a big twist in there that I'm not gonna give away. You're gonna have to read this series to find out. Let's just say not everyone or everything is as it seems. But on that note, let's tease issues 4 and 5. I can't really say much, but I can show you never before seen uncolored and unlettered line art of issue 4. I'm not going to give you much context here as I don't want to give it away, but clearly something is going on at the council that has the Kokins of each clan upset. Let's just say there's a changing of the guard, so to speak, and someone is coming after one of the clans, leaving very gory warnings for what's to come, and it's not what you would assume. We actually have quite a few twists and turns in issues 4 and 5 as the story comes to a conclusion, with Eren set on the path to become the new Kokin of one of the clans and the beginning of his hero's journey. We are definitely tying things together, not only using this series to build out Kokin's backstory, but our universe in general. We have lots of additional ideas and things we want to explore, like Infinite's story and how it fits into this universe, including where he comes from and does he have ties to the Cataclysm that we briefly showed and talked about in Volume 1, but also fill in the gaps on heroes such as Infinite, Kokin, Gold Rush, and more who have saved the world. So hopefully we get to tell those stories, and we will as long as you dig the stories and continue to support the books. In the end, we're making them for all of you, telling stories we ourselves would want to read in hopes that it resonates with all of you as well. We are focused on just trying to tell good stories, nothing more, nothing less. Just fun, compelling, action-filled stories. Whether we succeeded at that is for all of you to decide. But you could check out the first 3 issues of Astonishing Times Rise of the Kokin right now exclusively on Comixology and Kindle Unlimited. In fact, if you have an Amazon Prime or Kindle Unlimited account, you could even read it for free. Just use our links in the description. But for those of you who want something tangible, it'll be collected in a Dark Horse trade in early 2025. So a big thanks to my home team here at Variant for helping me bring Rise of the Kokin to all of you, and another huge thanks to you in the Variant Nation for picking up the issues and showing us love. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.